Hey all, it's Sunday, it's Wrestling Rant, and I'm here ready to give it. Now, obviously, since the last time I was here with you, a complication has come up about WrestleMania and me watching it live. So, I came to an obvious decision based on what people were telling me and based on my own ideas. I'm going to be watching WrestleMania in comfort of my own home on the Monday afternoon. Yeah, that's right. So you won't be getting a results video straight after the event is over, like I normally do. You're going to receive a results video after the day is on, and the day is on. So you may not expect a results video until around maybe late Monday night on the 5th of April. 4th of April? 4th of April, that's it. Yeah, just make sure I'm aware of that. This is my WrestleMania weekend plan, just to get this out of the way quickly before I get onto anything else. As WrestleMania X7 is going to be 10 years old on the 1st of April, I kind of thought, yeah, why don't I do something to celebrate that? I'm going to do a special one-off video where I look into the legacy of this event. Its matches, the event itself, the aftermath, everything else that's followed to kind of see why this has not yet been toppled. Okay, this is going to be a full-length, in-depth one. I'm going to record this and see how long it takes to upload. It's going to be awesome. Then on the 2nd of April, a day later, you'll get my predictions for WrestleMania 27, and then, like I said, the results video will follow after that. How's that sound? Good. Right, I also had a chance this week, with a bit of free time after finishing my coursework a week early, yes, to play No Mercy, which I did say I would have a go at playing last week, and it isn't very good. I know this was 1999, 2000, the graphics and also the gaming thing it was on made it a bit shit. It is a bit shit. It may have a good roster, but the controls are a bit sluggish and slow. The graphics are an eyesore, even with my HD TV back there. It probably isn't HD, but it'll do its job. And basically, I did not enjoy it at all. So, £1 from cash converters. What if you can see that? £1. Yeah, that isn't honestly the best thing in the world I'd spend £1 on, but yeah. Also, I'm not an avid reader, but I did pick this up. Chris Jericho's new book, right? This right here is a damn good book. I'm not a reader, but fuck, this is a good book. Very, very good in depth on wrestling. Jericho's really good writer. Describes everything very vividly. And I tell you, if you are a wrestling fan, of course you are, you wouldn't be watching this video. And if you are a guy who likes reading, get that book. It's worth its time. It's fantastic. I'm not finished with it, but I am saying it's a good read. Right, I got all that briefing out with. That's 3 minutes in. We're going to get on to the actual business of this rant, the 11th in my series. Of course, as WrestleMania is only 3 weeks away, the topics I cover are going to be WrestleMania related, which is fantastic because we all love WrestleMania, don't we? We all love the World Wrestling Entertainment has one show of the year where they pull out all their stops. Well, let me think about this. If they are called the World Wrestling Entertainment, then why haven't they done a WrestleMania overseas? This is the one thing that has baffled me for years. That, especially coming from the UK, where we have probably one of the best overseas areas that the WWE has. We sell out arenas, we sell out house shows. Most of the time they're here. And I think a lot of merch comes to our letterboxes every time. I can tell there are a lot of WWE fans here, knowing the countless shows I've been to. And basically, it's where I'm thinking to myself, why hasn't there been a WrestleMania overseas? I mean, they did SummerSlam overseas, for crying out loud. Best attendance to a WWE event, which is legitimate. Yeah, WrestleMania 3. And basically, seriously, we've got the stadia to cover for it. I mean, we've got Wembley, we've got Twickenham, Old Trafford. I could go on. But you see my point here. We've got the infrastructure to do it. And I know next year it ain't going to happen because it's going to Miami. Douchebags getting two in a row. Ugh. But it's just why? I mean, obviously, people say the time difference is obviously going to be a problem where if it's 7 o'clock here in the UK where it goes out, it'll be, say, if it goes out here in the UK around 7:30, 8 o'clock, like the WWE usually puts on its events, and the Eastern Coast is 5 hours away, that's quite a while, isn't it? I mean, That's in the middle of the afternoon. Pacific Coast in the middle of the morning. That isn't good because people will get spoilers out if taped. Because no one's going to watch WrestleMania early in the morning or wherever. They're not going to watch it in the middle of the day. It has to be done live in a simulcast. But if it's done in a simulcast, yeah, same thing happens. The thing is, if it's taped, the same thing will happen with SummerSlam 92, where spoilers will come out, people will know who wins, and it will lessen the enjoyment of the event. And that isn't a good thing. So I'm looking at that thinking, is there any way they could actually, well, delay the broadcast? No, they can't. And I just keep thinking though, they're not, I know the US is their main market, but come on, World Wrestling Entertainment? I know WCW were called World Championship Wrestling, but yeah, they didn't get fuck all over here, did they? And I do want WrestleMania over here. I do. Because that's my one main dream, go to WrestleMania, and if there's no WrestleMania here, then I can't even go there. I don't want to go. I want to go to America. If I was going to go to anywhere, I'd go to Canada to do it. But that's the only reason I want to go to America is to go see WrestleMania. And every time I look at the announcement of every time they're saying announcement for next year's WrestleMania, I go, please be London, please be London. It's fantastic. Hell, actually, in my honest opinion, 2013 looks more likely because they wouldn't put it in Wembley when the Olympics are happening in the same year. That doesn't make sense, especially from our country's point of view. Sure, we missed out on the 2018 Football World Cup. We can at least get WrestleMania at some point in then. The amount of money it would get would be incredible. I tell you now, the amount of money that New York City, Detroit, and these other places have gotten, the financial crisis could be forgotten for getting nearly 25 million quid's worth into our economy. That will be worth something. Hell, I'd even say the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff will be a fantastic one because it's got a roof. The only problem is getting around Cardiff, knowing all the equipment and shit. Their streets are bogged down. But anyway, the overseas fans, we only get 4 shows a year, plus that are televised, plus, or before shows basically is Raw, SmackDown in Manchester and London respectively. We get house shows, but we don't get anything else. Now, knowing our loyal support and the fact we have Scottish, Welsh, Northern Irish, and Englishmen in the WWE right now give us a bit of something we deserve. We've got some multicultural guys in there. You go to Mexico to do, you go to Puerto Rico to do the New Year's Revolution 2005 for God's sake. Sure, that isn't very far, but at least it's in foreign waters, eh? Well, I think it is. But listen, I, as a long-time fan, and many guys in the UK who are long-time fans, we want an overseas WrestleMania. I don't care. Even Australia could get it. They've got 80,000-seater stadiums at least 6 times over down there. Sure, it actually isn't even as far to travel by plane. I mean, come on. We overseas fans shell a lot of money into the WWE. Why aren't we getting what we deserve back? The biggest pay-per-view extravaganza on home soil. Because I'd kill for that. I'd kill for that. And when also in the subject of talking about stadiums, the one thing about stadiums I always wonder is if they're necessary. Because if you look at all the great WrestleManias have gone by, there are loads of them which have only been in stadiums which hold at least up to 20,000 tops. These big stadiums that hold 60 to 80,000 aren't necessarily worth their time. Because sure, they have big stages, they have big pyrotechnic displays flying out everywhere. Sure, that is a big plus. But the only problem I have with that is because there's so many people. If you take a look at how silent the crowd has gotten in recent years in the WWE, you will see exactly what I mean. Because, look at it. It's silent through some matches. If you've got 20,000 in there who are hyped off their arses, the crowd noise won't tone down. I mean, the fact is, WrestleMania 14, one of the most revolutionary yet events in WWE history, at the start of the Attitude Era. About 18,000 in the Fleet Center in Boston. One of my friends went to that. And it was just the Arrowhead Pond. They went from the Arrowhead Pond in WrestleMania 16 to the Reliant Astrodome in WrestleMania 17. There's a reason, because you have to have the matches to sell out this crowd. Because in a small WrestleMania venue, you can have one big match to sell out most of the seats. Some other matches will get the rest of them filtered out. With big mania events like WrestleMania X7, Rock Austin. Yeah, Rock Austin as a main event. That'll sell at just about anything. If you put up a big event enough, it'll sell like hotcakes, and it'll sell out fast. That's why, whenever I think about it, WrestleMania needs a big match. Like WrestleMania 25 had Undertaker, Shawn Michaels as a main figurehead, but it also had Triple H, Randy Orton, and Edge, Cena, Big Show. They're big matches in my opinion. Hey, Safeco Field got it right down the middle, 50,000, and they had Angle, Lesnar, Rock, Stone Cold, and McMahon, Hogan. That sold out really well because it had a big match. Hogan, Rock in the Rogers Centre in Canada. Definitely another sellout there. And you see, in recent years, WrestleMania hasn't been selling very well. It's been petering out. WrestleMania 25 had a few unsold seats. WrestleMania 26 had shitloads of unsold seats afterwards. Fuck it, if I had known that, I would have gone and gotten my ticket. Because without a marquee match, a big match, and a big enough crowd at least, the match they won't take off. Simple. You need some big matches. And looking at this year's WrestleMania card, there are some big matches with people who aren't involved in them, which kind of sucks. But I would gladly swap these big giant stadiums for a small arena where one small concentration of fans who are diehard people who would go in there, go completely mental for one night only for WrestleMania and just basically tear the place apart and get psyched into every match. A big arena where you get psyched and then it's drowned out by the silence of other people who don't give a shit. That doesn't make sense to me. And I tell you, if we were in England right now, waiting for an overseas WrestleMania, and we were there in Wembley or Millennium Stadium or wherever, looking out and cheering our heads off, there would be hardly any silence. Because we would know we're happy with what we're getting. The WWE fans aren't happy because these matches, either in the Bret Hart Vince McMahon case, aren't as good as we thought they were going to be, or in some cases they're downright ludicrous due to the time given. Punk Mysterio from last year. And these big stadiums, yeah, it proves that WWE is the giant conglomerate, the only thing in wrestling at the moment who has enough money just to even rent and accommodate those things, as well as sell them out. But it proves that they are basically just flashing off what they've got. The money. You've got to understand. Small arenas, WrestleMania 21, WrestleMania 22, two of the best WrestleManias in my opinion, had the Staples Center and the Rosemont Theatre, which I think was Rosemont Stadium, something like that, which had around 20,000 each. I mean, come on. The intensity of the crowd was electrifying. These big stadiums, if they've got a big enough match to sell and make the impact the crowd needs to make the atmosphere feel better, then I'd be fine with it. But obviously I'm not, because you need to keep the crowd interested, to keep the aura of a giant stadium work. Don't just think, oh, this is an opportunity to make some big bombastic stage and pyrotechnic display the centerpiece. Because that shouldn't be the centerpiece of the show. If it's WrestleMania, you put wrestling as the centerpiece. WrestleMania X7 stage was tiny, and it had people sitting behind it. Imagine how much room these big stadiums take up. That's about 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 seats you're taking up from one small stage alone. From one giant stage, you're losing 3,000 seats. I'm sure in these big stadiums, if you had something around 40,000, that would be at least acceptable. But in a stadium which can house between 60 and 80,000, no, that isn't good enough. That is not good enough in the slightest. And I don't know where WWE keeps getting the ideas from, but keep getting your big stadiums if you want, Vince. Keep trying to show that you're the big bucks. But someday, a WrestleMania will not sell as many as you plan to. And you will soon feel the consequences of that. Because you'll one day have to revert back to the small little venues. Because it will matter how many fans you have at the end of the day. And a WrestleMania which doesn't sell will epitomise everything. Whew! That was a good rant, wasn't it? Right, if you guys want to see more of my videos, please click the channel link up here. If you want to keep it out for any more vids, click the subscribe button, which is also up there. You want to comment on anything? Click the bloody comment description box down there. Like things there. Give me the support, because I love your support. It makes me feel really happy that you guys are spending and taking time out of your schedules to listen to me rant about wrestling. It's fantastic. Now, next week, I have no idea what I'm doing. I haven't noted anything down, so I will see you then. I probably might have a reaction video in the week. Who knows? Anyway, see you guys next week, and have a damn good week ahead.